are going to learn how to make this cute little macrame wall hanging. We're only going to use one type of knot. Macrame is just tying knots. So we're only going to learn how to do one of those today, but when you master this one knot, you can pretty much make so many cool things. So we're going to start with this little guy today. In your brown paper baggie that you got from the library, you should have a wooden stick, and you should have some long strings and then one short one, okay? The only other thing you're gonna need for this is just some tape to stick your project to your table and some scissors to cut the ends when we're done, okay? If you're all set, we'll get started. I'm gonna change the camera angle so you can see what I'm doing on the bottom, okay, on the table. Sound good? Here we go. All right, guys, we have all of our materials out here. I have my 8 pieces of long string, 1 small string, my wooden dowel, and only extra things you're gonna need are tape and scissors, okay? I'm gonna put my tape and my scissors off to the side. I'm gonna put my longer strands off to the side. First step, we're just gonna create this handle here, okay? So you need your small piece of string and your wooden dowel, and you're just gonna tie a simple knot on one side to create one side of your handle, and then on the other side to make your other handle. All right, just 2 very basic knots, nothing fancy. And then you should have your handle and it looks like this. Okay? Next step, you're gonna take your tape, and I'm gonna be safe, and I'm gonna put 3 pieces of tape on mine, just because we're gonna be pulling on our project a lot, and we wanna make sure it stays in place while we're working. So I have 3 pieces of tape there, just holding my handle to my table. Okay, now we're gonna need our 8 long pieces. Okay, they're kind of already folded in half for you. We're gonna keep them that way just because it's easy, because that's how we're gonna attach them. So our first step is gonna be adding these pieces here. We're gonna attach all of our longer strands to our project. Okay, so first step, take one of your long strands, make sure your edges are as even as they can be, okay? And then I'm gonna take my loop under my dowel rod, and then I'm gonna take my 2 ends and put them through here, and then I'm gonna pull down. And we just added our first piece to our macrame project. Let's do it again. Make sure your ends are meeting. Underneath your dowel rod, pull your loop through. Take your 2 ends through the loop and pull it down. Make sure your ends meet. Under your dowel rod, 2 strands, pull it through. Oops, I pulled a little too hard on that piece. Okay, now we have 3 pieces attached. 5 more to go. Make sure your ends meet. Take that loop, put it under your dowel rod. Your 2 strands on the bottom, go through that loop, and then you pull up and bring it down. Nice job. Ends meet, under the dowel rod, through the loop, pull up and down. Okay, only 3 more. Make sure your ends meet, underneath the rod, ends through the loop. Good, you can scooch them over as you go too, because we're gonna get pretty tight by our handle. 2 more. Make sure your ends meet. Underneath the dowel rod, 2 ends, go through the loop, pull up and down. All right, last one. Make sure your ends meet. Loop goes underneath third rod, ends go through the loop, pull up and down. Okay, now we have all of our 8 strands on our project. Now this part's more of just kind of like an aesthetic thing, so if you like the way it looks now, keep it that way. If you want it to have these bumps here, all we're gonna do is just lift it up and flip it over. Do you see how now it has these bumps on this side? If you want it to have the bumps, flip your project over. If you don't want it to have the bumps, just leave it as it is. Make sure my tape is nice and secure again. All right. Make sure my loops are good. Okie dokie. We're ready for our first knot. One knot that we're gonna use today, it's called a box knot. And you can kind of see here, it looks like a box. Here, here, and here. So in total, we're gonna be making 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of these box knots, okay? Now they're gonna seem kind of tricky at first, but I promise once you get the hang of it, it'll be good, okay? So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this first grouping of 2 strands and this second grouping of 2 strands and pull it off to the side, and all of these other ones are gonna go over there. We're just gonna focus on these 4 strands right now, okay? I'm gonna go really slow. Take your 2 outer strands. The one on the right, you're kind of gonna make a backwards 4. I took my right strand and I'm just gonna make a 4 like this, okay? Then I'm gonna take my left one, I'm gonna put it over this strand, but then we're gonna go under these 2 strands and then through this loop, okay? Let me do it one more time. I'm taking my right strand and I'm gonna make it into the backwards 4. I'm gonna take my strand on the left, over this piece, under these 2, and then scooch it under this one, and that's where you're gonna pull it, okay? You don't need to pull hard, we're just gonna kind of tighten it all the way to the top. Now each of these box knots are made up of 2 of what we just did, okay? So we're halfway through our first box. Take our number 4, backwards 4. Take your left piece over that strand, under the bottom 2, under the point of our 4, and pull through. There we go. You just did your first macrame box stitch. Look at you go. So what we just did was this guy right here. All right. Now I'm gonna take these 4 pieces that we just worked with and scooch them off to the side. And I'm gonna take the next 4 strands. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're gonna work with these. Okay, take your outer 2 strands. The right one makes the 4. The left one goes over the end of our 4, under the bottom 2 pieces, under the point of our number 4, and then you pull it through. Tighten it to the top. And then we do it again. Number 4, over, under, under, ooh, under, and pull. Nice job. This is tricky, so if you need to go slow, go slow. It's okay. This is hard. All right, off to the side. Take your next 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, ready? Outer strands, make it into a 4. Left piece over this one, under the bottom 2, under the point of our 4, and pull through. One more time. Number 4, left piece goes over, under, under, and through. Okay, that one's done. We only have one more to do on our top row. Take your last 4 strands, separate your outer pieces. The right piece makes a backwards 4. The left piece goes over, under, under, and through. All right, number 4, over, under, under, and pull. Good job. This is tricky, so if you need to slow down or you need to start over and go back to the beginning, go for it. This is tricky. Okay, I'm gonna straighten out all my pieces now, okay? Here's where it's gonna get a little kind of confusing. You know how we did groups of 4 on the top here? We have to do that again, but this time it's gonna be a little wonky, okay? So let's start on this side. I'm gonna take these 2 pieces, my first 2 strands on the left, we don't need them. Take the next 2, and then you're gonna take the next 2 strands from this piece, and then you're gonna push these away. So I have 2 strands from this box knot and 2 strands from this box knot. That's how we're gonna make the diagonal shape. Okay, let me do that one more time. Straighten out all my pieces. Take my 2 strands on the left, throw them away, we don't need them. Pick up these 2 pieces, and then the very next 2 pieces from our second box knot. And you can scooch those away. And then we just do our same pattern. Take the outer 2 pieces, make our backwards 4. This one goes over, under, under, and pull. There you go. Backwards 4, over, under, under, and pull. Nice work. Now we can take these 4 strands that we just worked with, scoot them up. Take these ones back down. We want these 2 strands, and then the first 2 strands from our third knot. Scoochy those away. Here we go. A number backwards 4. This one goes over, under, under, pull through and tighten. Good job. Backwards 4, over, under, pull through. Good job. One more in this row. We're gonna take the next 4 strands. So your last box knot, these 2 strands, we don't need them. Here we go. Separate our ends. Backwards 4, over, under, and tighten. Backwards 4, over, under, and tighten. Okay, let's bring all of our pieces down again. Looking good. Nice job. Okay, you see we're kind of getting that diagonal shape. Our next row, here, let's show you where we are in the process. We finished this row. We finished this row of 3, so now we're on this row of 2. Okay, so let's take this 2 pieces, we don't need them. These 2 pieces, we don't need them. So now we have 4 strands off to the side that we're not going to use. Okay, we could even take these 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those can go off to the side. We don't need them. Okay, let's get started. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 strands from this box knot, 2 strands from this box knot. Here we go. Number 4, or backwards number 4, I guess. Over, under, and pull. Another one, backwards 4, over, under, and pull. Nice job. Next one, 2 strands from this one, 2 strands from this one. So we have 4 strands off to the side on the right. Separate our 2 edges. Backwards 4, over, under, and pull. One more. Backwards 4, over, under, and pull. Look at you go. We only have 1 more knot in this project and then we're done. You guys are rocking it. Okay, now we only have to use or do 1 more box knot. So these 2 strands on either side can go away. These 2 strands, or 4 strands, can go away. And these 4 strands can go away. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strands off to the side on each side, because we only need 4 strands for our last box knot. Here we go. Last one. Backwards 4, over, under, and pull. Backwards 4, over, under, and pull. Look at that. Bring your strands down. Look what you just did. You just did that. That was tough. Nice work. You should be really proud of yourself. That was really good. Okay, last step. In my example, I cut it in a straight line. You can cut it at whatever length you want. You could go all the way down to the shortest one and just cut from there. So then you have longer tassels, or you can do shorter ones like I did on my example. I think I'm gonna go probably about here, where my shortest piece was. And I'm just gonna cut off the edges. So now they are all straight line across. Now you can leave your end pieces like this as a tassel, or if you want to get this more like shaggy kind of look, all I did was take one of these strands. Each one of these strands is made up of 3 other little strands. So I just untwisted it and pulled the 3 strands apart. And then it gives it kind of that more curly kind of look. So twist it to the left and separate the 3 strands in each of your pieces. Twist and separate. Twist and separate. Twist and separate. And I'm just going to do this for the rest of them. Now, if you really liked this macrame project and you want to learn more, you can go on YouTube or anywhere and find videos of people. There's tutorials all over the place for you to try and practice your different pieces. And then you can go from little projects like this to really, really big ones. And it's a lot of fun. And there's a bunch of other different types of knots. Like I said at the beginning, we only learned 1 knot today. There's so many different types of knots that make so many different kinds of designs. So the possibilities with your macrame projects are kind of endless. You just have to practice. It can seem overwhelming at first, but once you get the hang of it and you keep practicing, you can become pretty good pretty fast. Almost there. Twist to the left. Separate the strands. Twist and separate. And then there's one more optional step at the end if you just want to make your project look a little cleaner. I did it on my example. Whoopsie. Oh my goodness, my knot just came off. Let me just retie that really quick. I'm gonna untape this. This is kind of what the last step has to do with, is these frayed ends here. Okay. All right, so my macrame project is all untwisted on the ends. And if you feel like when you're done, your ends are too long, cut them off. Only cut a little at a time though, because it's easier, well, I mean, it's impossible to add it back after you cut it, right? Here we go. Nice work, everyone. So the last optional step, if you want to make it look a little cleaner, you can take these back end pieces from your knot that you tied, and you can just put a little glue here on the back to glue those pieces down. I did that on my example. You can see the frayed parts I just kind of glued to the back so that when it's hanging you can't see them. Nice work, guys. I'm really impressed. You did a really, really awesome job. This was a tough project, but you did an awesome, amazing job. Great work, my friends. Thanks again for joining me for our macrame workshop, guys. I'm so impressed. This was a tough project. You did an awesome job. Can't wait to see you guys back for the next program. Bye.